Just be a quick run through on my garden as of June the 6th, 2020. I've just plowed this little area here with my steel tiller, the little tiller that goes on my steel trimmer. Anyway, I'm going to be planting some more corn right in here, so it's kind of like the early season corn, or what I planted early season is back here. Some of that was started before others, so it's two different heights. Of course, this is some sunflower, which are getting ready to pop here pretty soon with blooms. I have not yet planted this area in here. Let me stand back a little bit. I've not planted anything in these two rows yet, but I will be. I'm going to make use of every bit of space. I think it's more important this year than ever for growing your own food and having it available, fresh vegetables. Bean plants, I've got two varieties here planted in this little space here too. I'm trying to stagger planting so that throughout the entire growing season until the first frost, I'm going to be able to pull beans and whatnot. Here is just a couple of bell pepper plants. And then down this whole row here is Georgia sweet onion. And then over here, I've got two squash plants, zucchini squash, that are doing quite well. In fact, got several that are coming up that'll be able to be picking within a week, I'm sure. And this is a going a little slower, but that's a crookneck squash. And this was this was a volunteer. It's a squash of some type that came up. I transplanted over to this area right here. I believe it may be the spaghetti squash, but I'm not 100% sure. But the leaves are definitely different, but it is a squash plant of some variety. At the moment, I've got 4 tomato plants put in. They're heirloom too, so I can harvest the seeds. What is it? Okay. A Brandywine. There we go. Brandywine variety. That's those two. And then this one here, once again, 2 more heirloom of this variety. And then over here in the little herb part of the garden, got 2 varieties of gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Okay, so parsley. 2 different types of parsley. I mostly let the catnip here grow kind of big and wild, and I don't trim it back because it flowers and goes to bloom and seed, and the bees love it. All insects seem to really crave the blooms on this, so that'll be some feed for my bees. And then I've got 3 basil plants here. They're struggling to get going. I don't know why. One is doing a little better than the other. This one was from seed right there. The other 2 were small plants. This is a Italian oregano, and I've got a couple of cilantro plants right here. Debbie makes some great salsa with that, along with the onion and everything else, and tomato. So we have some great salsa out of that. First time planting regular potatoes. And I did it in these bins, and as you can see, they're kind of popping nicely. There's 2 layers in there with 4 potatoes or half potatoes in each layer. So I'm hoping that produces a pretty good quantity of potatoes. I'll find that out, of course, later on. What's nice about the way this is set up is that you can just cut the zip ties on the posts, and the potatoes will just literally fall out, be easy to harvest. So I've got this area still I can plant, and the rest of this row, and that's it for now. Day's already starting out hot. All right. Have a great day. Oh, I was going to end this, but I didn't finish my little tour. Strawberries are pretty much done for this season. That's my little strawberry patch. Little raised garden strawberries. I'll go over here to the pergola that Debbie and I built last year. And unfortunately, the grapes I planted last fall did not make it through winter. One did, but it's not even that healthy. I don't know what's going on there. This is one variety of hops, Golding hops. This gets started slower. This may not be the best environment for it, although when I bought the rhizomes, they said they would grow here fine. Now, Cascade hops, doing terrific. You can see, let me get in here close, you can see all the hop cones coming out there. I do some home brewing, so I might mostly do this for decorative, you know, just get some growth on these pergola we built. But I will be harvesting those cones this year. This is the second year for them, and it really established itself, and it took off, and it's doing very well. Okay, my little orchard here. I'm also having trouble for some reason getting a good getting blueberries. This plant survived from last year. The one I had planted right next to it died over winter. So I'm going to try again. I'll get, because you have to have more than one plant. They got the old male female thing. So I need to get some more of that. I did plant this last year, this Gala apple, and it's already producing some fruit. That may drop because it's not that well established yet. This one is a great producer. Last year we got quite a few Gala apples off of this one, and as you can see, it's loaded with fruit. And I actually come in here and thinned it out some. I didn't thin it out well enough though. I need to really go in there. It's very difficult to do, to pluck off fruit. But if you don't, they're all going to be really small, or some will drop anyway. But I did do some of that. As you can see, there's two there, two there, two there. Everywhere where I was getting clusters of 4, or they were too close together, I did thin them out. But and this apple tree is a oh wow, I forgot the name of it right now. It's eluding me, but I don't know what's going on here. It's been here for 6 years since we've lived in this home, and I think I've got 4 apples on it. The name will come to me maybe in a minute. This is 2 years into these nectarines. Let me back off a little bit. I'm too close, but nectarines, they're getting really nice and full, but I got to stay on top of the fungus. It does seem to like to get a fungus, and it's too late to spray because it has fruit. So I may lose it all. I don't know yet. They're getting well established, but a lot of the fruit is falling off. I did some reading on that, and usually it's because of it's overbearing. There's just too many. And the plant knows enough that, okay, do I survive or does the fruit survive? And what they'll do is it'll drop the fruit so that the plant can survive, because there's a lot of energy that goes into the production of the fruit. And okay, last but not least here, or almost last but not least, is this is some peach, 4 peach plants. Four peach trees that I planted in the fall. They're all living, obviously. They're just getting started, so there's nothing much happening there right now. And then this was a pecan tree that I planted from a rhizome, or next to, like a very small root, what do they call it? Not rhizome, but just from root. That's done really well, but I had planted along this area here 6 others that none of them made it. 1 or 2 I did accidentally run over with my lawnmower, but the rest just didn't survive. So only 1, I don't know what. They're very slow growing, so that's 6 years. So I think, I'm gonna walk over here to this last spot. Over here is red raspberries. I got to get in there and weed because there is quite a few weeds growing up inside there. Red raspberries and spearmint. This is the spearmint here. Great with a mojito or your iced tea. And This is already starting to produce some buds. This will go, this is usually a middle summer, July, usually around July, end of this month, July, where I start picking fruit off there. And they're pretty tasty. Now that's it. Okay, I'm done.